now both? In Pune
Uh,
only?
no. We shifted to Ahmedabad, his native place.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, sir. Has Ketki joined?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Hello, Ketki.
Hello, ma'am.
How are you? Hope
Yes,
doing well.
yes. Everything is good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, we are concerned about the uh, safety of our students and everyone. So taking care of this and keeping all the
Yes.
classes online. So this is what the new thing happening in there or across academics everywhere.
Yes.
How are your things?
Yes, things are stable right now here. So like medical treatment or all this, if everything is they are giving proper treatment to the patients. So things are better now.
Okay, great.
Yes.
So far, very few students have joined, so we'll wait for some more time and then we may start. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. So just need to confirm that my screen is visible, no? My
Yes,
PPT is
Yeah,
visible,
yeah,
right?
yes,
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Okay.
So it's getting loaded. It has not loaded yet. I hope this is the same for everyone, right?
Yes.
Uh, so,
KK,
uh,
it is loading.
so uh, just a second. I'll check.
I wanted MBA students even to join, but then they have their examination, midterm examination, because this topic is quite relevant and they
Right,
also could have been benefited.
right.
Good evening, all the students. I was expecting more students to come because topic is quite interesting. Yeah.
Is his PPT is it now visible?
Yes.
Yeah, it is visible. You just make it full screen.
Yes. When I'm making full screen, no, it is getting loading. So I just made it full screen. Is it visible?
No.
No. So if
Yes,
if not
something.
that, if not that, then you can go with this as well. No problem. It is quite
Yeah.
visible. Yeah.
One more thing, ma'am, about the KK. His husband is also his alumni of for Simca.
Oh, that's great.
Nandan Deshmukh.
What is this?
Nandan Deshmukh.
Oh, that's great.
Both are from 2015 batch pass out, ma'am.
Okay, that's great. That's great. And what is he doing?
Yes, he is in the same field, iOS developer only. So we have
Okay.
started our career with the same in the same technology and same experience.
Okay. So where is he working? I mean, uh,
He so actually we both are located in Ahmedabad right now. So
okay.
we are working in the Ahmedabad based company.
Okay.
Yes, his company name is Spec India, and mine is Solution
Okay.
Analyst.
Okay. That's great.
Yes, I'm just trying if we can make it
So,
full screen.
Ketki, no worry. You take your own time and we'll invite your husband as well. He being the alumni. I hope you are aware that we have started with Saturday Alumni Forum where we expect our alumni to come and help our students with the current trends in the market.
Uh,
Uh, yeah,
no,
go ahead.
yes. No, we're not actually aware of.
Okay.
Yes.
So, how it has happened that were you available for our alumni meeting last time?
Yes,
No.
actually, after that only the pandemic, it has cancelled. We have actually enrolled
No,
into
it is
that.
not alumni meet I'm talking about. I'm talking about alumni meeting, which had happened online only, and
Yeah, yeah,
we had invited. So actually, long back we had decided to have one alumni meeting in which we had discussed that we can have the Saturday alumni forum wherein we can invite our alumni, those who are interested, to come and enlighten our students with their experiences on all the Saturdays. So, whichever alumni is free on particular Saturday could have come and enlightened our students, shared their experiences. So we have made it like this, that one Saturday either MBA alumni or MCA alumni.
okay.
So alternatively, if once MBA is invited, then next Saturday MCA will be invited. And we'll try to make it little general if possible, so that MBA and MCA both students will get benefited. If it is domain specific, then we'll invite only the MCA students or MBA students for the domain specific subject. So this
Right.
is how we have decided, and all the Saturdays we have thought of inviting our alumni. The purpose of keeping this is to stay connected with our alumni. One, which is very important because we consider alumni are the greatest support and strongest pillar to take any institute ahead. So this
Right.
is the one notion behind this. And the second one, they are more well versed um, with the current trends in the market. Also, they know the background of our students because they have passed out from the same institute, so they know
Right.
uh, where do they belong to and what actually the status of our students are, so they
Right.
can help better instead calling any industry people, those who do not know much of, those who are not much aware about our students. It becomes very difficult to get connected with these students, but you people being the seniors, you know that how the students are, what kind of students do we have, and how to get connected so that they can be enlightened in a better way. So this is what the purpose of keeping this Saturday alumni forum, and we are wanting this to stay intact, and we are wanting this to stay consistent. So to have this endurance, we would be needing the help of our alumni. So please shake hands with our this alumni association and make it a continued act so that we can benefit our students and we can get connected, stay connected rather with you all. Yeah.
Yes, yes, definitely, ma'am. I'll just pass it to my friends also because maybe we have missed that thing, missed that mail because we are constantly getting updates from our Simca group that what are the no, what are the activities we are following up. So I'll definitely pass out to them, and also I'm also interested into that. So yeah,
Yeah, and I would also request you to join the alumni association which we have formed, constituted just couple of weeks ago, rather last week only. We had asked the alumni to join hands for this, and so that we can formulate few things by which we can develop Simca in a better way.
right,
No,
right,
alumni are the strongest pillar, and they can contribute in different ways. They know the institute better, they understand the new crowd as well, and they understand the industry expectations. So bridging the gap between the students and the industry, those who are entering into this field, becomes very easy if alumni joins their hand with us. So that is why we have thought of, and with this notion we have started this Saturday alumni forum, and also this alumni association which has been constituted. So your contribution, your ideas will be implemented in order to take it ahead. Yeah.
Yes, yes, definitely, ma'am.
So please pass on this message to all your friends, your batchmates, your seniors, your juniors, whoever are connected with you, those who are the alumni.
Yes,
And
yes.
we would love to join hands if they are interested in enlightening the newcomers. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure.
Yeah. So you may start with your presentation, and students be very alert and attentive. And at the end, please ask questions so that you will have more clarity about the topic. I hope Gupta sir, Ketki has been introduced. I joined little late because I had some technical glitch. So has she been introduced to the students?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Just
Oh,
I'm just introduced.
yeah.
Yeah. Good evening, all. Today we have a guest, Ketki Damle. She is a alumni from 2015 batch pass out. She is currently working in Solution and Analyst Private Limited as a senior software engineer. And she has a vast experience in iOS developer, and she has a expertise in the field of mobile application development. She has a vast experience in the different skills like React and Native, and she has also working in the testing field. She has also working as a agile software developer. So over to Ketki. Now I will request to Ketki to continue her presentation.
Yes, thank you, sir. So first of all, I like to thank Simka and respected HOD ma'am, so that they have given me this opportunity, and special thank you to all the lecturers who are who has actually managed this webinar. Before starting our this presentation, I would like to share something about me. So, as Sachin sir has already mentioned, I am 2015 years batch pass out, and since from them I'm working as an iOS developer. So basically, my job role is create a mobile application for iPhones. So I have created more than, so it's not a bragging by the way, but just to inform you guys that I have created more than 20 plus applications, and all the application are live on the iTunes Connect.
Oh,
Then
that's great, Ketki. That's great.
Yes, and also I got the opportunity. I was fortunate enough to be part of a core developer of Mumbai Indians mobile application. So on the very initial stage when they were creating application for Mumbai Indians, the IPL team, I was part of that.
Wow.
And yes, so just let's get started with the seminar. This is today's topic is current trends in mobile technology. Okay, so let's get through quickly go through the agenda what we are going to see today. So the basics of introduction, we are going to see what is mobile technology. So you guys already know what is mobile technology, because I think you are two second year third year students, we have already have this subject. So it's just an overview of that what is mobile technology, what is its origin, what was its cause, why it is invented, and all that things. Then we are going to see a mobile architecture, mobile device architecture basically, that what is the mobile device architecture, and what are the layers, different layers that is in the architecture. The third one, we are going to see a client server architecture. It's a very important topic in mobile development, client server architecture, because each and every application is based on this client server architecture. So it is very necessary that you guys can go see and understand. If you don't understand, please ask question, so that, because this is, if you understand this, then there is like you have understand the base of the mobile application. Then we are going to see a very this is like a recent topic, mobile mobility transformation. What is mobility transformation and why it is necessary, and I'll be giving few examples of mobility transformation. Then current trends, of course, our core topic of this session. I'll be covering that, and I'll be giving a little preview of platforms that how we can create mobile application. So because I will not be covering the development part, like what is like coding part for this, but I'll be giving the overview of the platform, because if then there will be some other session we can go through that, and last will be your Q&A. Okay, so I just want to ask a few of, because there are few people, so we can ask them that what do you understand by mobile mobile technology. So anybody can unmute and say anything. So the first thing is, there is no wrong answer into this. You can say anything, and language is not a barrier. Anybody want to raise hand and say what is mobile technology, what is your understanding? Yes, anybody?
Yes, Kirti.
Yes.
Yeah, as you told, like what do you mean by mobile technology? So is that goes where the user actually mobile technology is technology that goes where the user goes. It consists of portable two-way communications devices, computing devices, and the
Right.
networking technology that connects them. They enable mobile devices to share voice, data, and applications. So it's different aspects.
Right. It's correct. It's quite correct. And Paresh has also raised his hand, so he can also answer. Paresh, just unmute and answer, no?
Yes.
Paras, sorry if I'm pronouncing wrong.
It's communication. It is a communication network.
Right.
Share data.
Yes. So both of you were right. It is a communication network. So it is used for, basically it is a wireless network to have when there is a two distinct devices placed at both different places and they can communicate. So the cellular communication was the necessity why we have mobile invented. So mobile actually is coming from the word mobile. So mobile means moving. So when you are moving, you are taking this mobile with you. That's why there is the name mobile. So cellular communication is it is an origin. So if we say the cellular communication, it started in 1980s. So they have started this, but that was a very basic things when you can just your device is sending a radioactive signals to other devices. So that was the only part in the starting. Then they have introduced phone calls, then messaging. So and after 2007, when then there was also, like, they have add-ons to this mobile. Like they have introduced camera, then they have introduced songs, they have introduced videos, and in 2007, revolutionary Steve Jobs have introduced a touch screen. So it has actually changed the market. We all know how Nokia synced, and then there is multitasking devices as so these are known as multitasking devices, the smartphones. So they are having a GPS navigation. So GPS is global positioning system. So it is your position from the satellite. So when you are using a device, so it sends a radioactive signal to satellite. The satellite will get the latitude and longitude of the person, and it will be deciding the what is the location of that particular device. So basically the person. So this GPS navigation plays a very vital role, because many of the application nowadays is considered to be location based. So GPS navigation is a very important topic in mobile development. Then there is the internet browsing. We all know that we can have an internet browsing like Google Safari, Google Chrome. Then there is a UC browser, and all that things we can have in the mobile. Gaming, like before there was like very basic games, right? So like a snake game and then bouncing ball, but now there is PUBG and all. So these games are very high level games we can introduce you, because we have that kind of graphic cards into our mobile right now. Before it was very simple. Then there is the instant messaging tool. So now this is live chat. So instant messaging tool is a socket based programming. So whenever for example WhatsApp, when you are texting somebody, he is getting an immediate response, and he can send you request to other messages. So this is a socket peer to peer connection that are happening in the messaging tool. So this instant messaging tool, it is also very important, because we are in every application we have chat functionality, we have video functionality. So all this is based on the socket programming. So instant messaging tool, then there is live streaming. You can live stream from your mobile, you can have a live video call, live chat with that. So this is the mobile technology that we have evolved through the years. So yes, so this is about some background and some ongoing about what is mobile technology. And we are going for a mobile device architecture. Okay, so as you can see in the screen, sorry, there are 4 layers of the mobile device architecture. You can see this. So anybody want to guess what is presentation layer? Just a presentation layer. Anybody wants to guess? Raise hands. Anybody wants to guess what is presentation layer? You can refer this image, no? Okay, Ganesh, yes, please unmute and speak, no?
It's a user interface layer.
Yes, 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 correct, correct. And Ragini, please unmute and
This layer is focused, this layer is how the application would be presented to the end users.
yes, exactly. So the presentation layer is accurate. So I don't know why I'm taking this session, because you guys know everything, but still. So as you can see in the image, there is a user interface and there is a presentation logic. So presentation layer is obviously the front screen of your mobile. So it will have your all the UI UX related point of view. Like if you see in Zomato, if you scroll very rapidly, there is one animation going, just so it's called skeleton. So that skeleton is a part of a presentation layer. So what we can do to make user experience far better is comes in the presentation layer. Now second is a business layer. So it is obvious, business layer is the heart of your application. You take everything and business put it into the business layer. So every your logic, it comes with your logic, your workflow. As it is you can see in the image, there is a workflow components and entities. So whatever logic you want to make. So for example, if you want to make a chat application, okay, so chat application, what it needs a chat window, right? So chat window, you will have it in the user interface. Now you want to send a message on the button click. So where do you have that business logic? You have that business logic in the business layer. So you have that in workflow. Like if I send the message to particular user, the particular user to get notified. So that is the workflow. Like what are the steps that we have to do? So that comes under business layer. Now third is data layer. So data layer is an data storage, your data storage, where you can store the data. Now imagine your device is so small, how much data it can store, right? A definite number of obviously a definite number of data it can store. So that's why there is we have introduced the cloud server. So all the data is actually stored into the cloud and fetched from the cloud. So and whatever necessary, if the data is very small and it is not going to affect other mobile, then that data is stored into the local. Make sense? Yes, anybody? I hope I'm not going very fast. Yes, Ragini, you have raised.
No.
Okay, sorry. It is showing in the list. So if you have any queries in between, you can ask me. Because if I'm going very fast and there is some communication need to be improved, so please do let me know. Okay. I hope you guys are understanding what I'm saying.
Actually, I have one question about business layer.
Yes.
As you told, it was like data source and all. So maybe in business layer, it as simple as an API call to database for passing information. I think.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So the business layer is actually is your whatever logic. Suppose, for example, you can compare your mobile application with your C programming. Okay. So in C programming, if you want to have a palindrome of n numbers, what you do, you take inputs from of n from user. So taking that input is from for user interface layer, that is presentation layer. Then after that, what you do, taking that input, you take a for loop, you do your logic, right? So that is a business layer. So whatever logic you are going to do behind is your business layer. And in that process, if you want to save some data, for example, if you we'll take a very simple example of a gaming application. So they have this offline application for snake, right? That for that snake you have to collect all the balls, the snake tails is going to get bigger and bigger, right? Yes. So that is going to store till you are playing. Once you close the application, that game, and come back later, it is not going to show you that data. That is data layer, that is local data you are storing. But if you are playing PUBG, for example, so in PUBG, what you do, if you have completed certain mission and if you close the application and come back, it will get started from next level. So or if you have unfinished mission somewhere, so it will start from that mission. So that data we have stored previously in the previous session. So every mobile, whenever you open the application, there is a session for that particular mobile. So that is the data layer. And the last one is common layer. So common layer, as you can see, there is a configuration, security, and communications. Okay. So common layer is basically OS, for the OS purpose. We as a developer, we don't get many access for this particular thing. So configuration you can consider as like, if your application is going to be landscape or portrait, so so that kind of configuration, or it is going to be multilingual, like if your application is going to be in Hindi, English, Gujarati, Marathi, so whatever language. So these are the common layers that every mobile is going to have. This layer, like your application is different, and this common layer is same for every layer. So make sense?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So this is mobile device architecture. Okay. So by far, I think we have come. So this is like the basics of mobile development. So let's get started with this third PPT, that is client server architecture. As I mentioned in the introduction, it's a very important topic because each and every application nowadays is depends upon this architecture. So what this architecture actually do? So for example, I'll just go by popular applications examples, because that will be very convenient for you to understand. Okay. So you'll take the example of Zomato. Okay. When you open Zomato, what you do, you type your address. Okay. Or it will take your address. So that they are doing by GPS. They are taking your location by GPS, and they are taking your location. Okay. So now what they're doing, they're taking your location and they're passing it on the server. So that server, what they do, so around your location, whatever restaurants are there, they're giving you their records only. So this is called, what you are doing, you are making a request to a server. Server is making some query into database. They are filtering the data. They are coming to the API layer and they are passing it to the devices. So this is this is a server. So this is a communication between mobile and server. So as you can see in this particular thing, so this is a mobile and you have their local database. Okay, this is application server and it is having enterprises database. So now what is meant by application server? So application server, basically you are mobile applications data that you have stored on the cloud. Okay, so as you can see, the enterprise DB is centralized DB. So it will be centralized for all the mobile application. If suppose I am searching it from my place, it will going to show me my restaurants around me. If you are going to search it from Pune, it is going to show you restaurant around Pune. So this database is common for all the devices, whereas this local database is different, varies from mobile to mobile. Okay, so this is a local database where we store data locally only, and this is enterprise database where we store data from on the server. So the common examples of this is user authentication. Like when you log in, your login ID and your encrypted password is stored to the application server, so that you can log in from different devices also. Like if you are logging from for Facebook in one device, you can log in from different device. So the data is already transferred. So how it is transferred? Because it is stored into the application server, it is stored into the cloud. Okay, so yes, anybody is having any doubt about this? Because this is a very important topic. I hope I was clear enough. Yes, no raise hand, so I mean everybody understands now. Okay, I'm considering that. You can anytime you can unmute your button and you can ask the question, no? Because I'm not seeing the bigger view for that who has raised hand or something like that in the minimized version. But still, okay. So I hope this is clear. Client server architecture. We can dig in more in QA. That is the last section. Okay. So coming back to the next slide, that is mobility transformation. Okay, what is mobility transformation? So imagine 10 years back, if you want to create your bank account, what you are going to do? You would go to the bank, you will fill up the form, you will be in the queue, you waited for your time. Then when your time comes, they will get your data. If your data is correct, then your bank is the bank is going to create your account in like maximum 10 days or something like that. If your data is wrong, they're going to verify you that your data is wrong. You will fill the form again, all the process. Okay, now what do? They have this iPad for every their executive. The executive reach out to the person, he goes, he clicks picture of that person, he will take all the data, necessary data, he will validate in front of you that if it is valid data or not, and he will create your account immediately, like in 2 minutes. So it is going, how it has happened? Because they have transferred their mobility, like their banking sector into mobility. So this enterprise mobile solution is is actually increasing very rapidly in India, because you can say any domain they have transformed into the mobility, be it like employee management system. It is in the mobile. Mobile can log in from their extremely sorry. So person can log in from mobile. So they can take a leave from mobile. They can have reimbursement. They can chat. They can have access. They can have ticket in the mobile, like in the enterprise, in the particular enterprise. They can have these things. Okay, so mobility. So if each and every business is transforming their solution into mobility because it is far more convenient. So what are the benefits of having a mobile solution to your uh, business? So the basic one that I have illustrated in the first was that you are getting far more audience. uh, like your target audience is going to be far more because you are having a mobile. Like everybody is having mobile nowadays. A 6,000 purchase and you are having a smartphone. So everybody is having a phone right now in their hand, so they can do their work from anywhere. So your target audience is large. It does not require a particular setup or something. Like for example, if a local vendor want to sell his goods, he don't have to just have banners or have or do publicity to people. He just WhatsApp the images to the his customers, and they will react to it. So what he has done, he has converted his business into the mobile solution. So from small to the bigger one, they will have they we have a large audience for mobile platform. So that is the biggest advantage of having a mobile solution to your enterprise. The second one is easy availability. Like for example, right now we are having a webinar. Some student might have been logging from their devices, right? Because some people may not have laptop with them, so they must have uh, log in from their mobile, and it is easily available. So that is the second benefits of having mobile enterprises. So that you are going to be like anywhere you can access it. You don't have to be sitting somewhere or having a particular setup for this. So these are the benefits of having an enterprise mobile solution. uh, Third one is risk factor. What are the risk factors? Anybody wants to tell me what are the risk factor if I'm having a mobile solution to my enterprise? Like I can access data from anywhere. I can be easily available, and anybody can use it. So what are the risk factors? I want to ask you guys. Anybody wants to know? Like anybody wants to tell? What are the risk factors? What are the disadvantages of having a mobile solution? Yeah, Ragini. I think that means that this you don't understood it or what? Okay, no problem. So the risk factor includes here is if anybody can access the data, then there will be a theft, a risk of theft, or risk of plagiarism, a risk of leaking the data, sensitive data to public, and yes, sorry, there was some disturbance. So the risk is that your data will be publicly available. So we hear these things a lot, that somebody has hacked Instagram account of some celebrity, somebody has hacked some Twitter account of some celebrity. So these are the risk factor, because hacking is very much easier if you are having everything in open and in mobile, right? So these are the risk that has been included. And lack of security, of course, like I'm not going to be able to go to each and every person and see if that is the same person. If somebody is giving proxy in this particular webinar, I'm not going to be sure, right? So this is the thing. Yes, Ragi.
Yes, so it means like it has like poor authorization and authentication.
So basically, it means that if you don't provide a particular security, if you don't provide a particular layer of protection to your data, yes, there is a lack of poor authentication.
Means like as social problems and safety concern, right?
Yes, exactly. And like I have said, that anybody can use the data behind the mobile. Like I cannot see your faces and you cannot see my faces.
Yes.
So yes, so that is the biggest risk. So, but there are, of course, there is a prevention measure. There are firewall that has been present. Then there is the extra protection to your data that has been present. Encryption, decryption, everything is present. For that particular data, to secure that data. So of course we can take that prevention measure and we can have this, because the benefits are far more than the risk. So we can obviously have this in we can obviously have this, and uh, for our mobility transformation, right? So, and a few years back, actually I have wrote an article, a blog on enterprise transformation to mobility. I have attached the link here. So I will share this PPT to you guys, so you can go through it. So I have described in detail what are the things, because of the time constraint, I have not added much more to the mobility transformation, but there are so many factors that is involved there. So you can go there, you can revisit it, you can read the blog, and you can tell me uh, how do you feel, like did you like the blog or not, right? Okay.
Yes.
Yes. So next, we are moving to our core topic of the uh, webinar, that is current trends. Okay. So what are the current trends? So I have listed a bunch of current trends that is very like very much hot topic in market. That is AR and VR, augmented reality and virtual reality, IoT technology, online shopping, online learning platform, wearable, beacon technology, blockchain technology, mobile wallet, and chatbots. Okay. So before that, actually I wanted to do a very fun activity with you guys. So I just want, like I have given you one example, that is of bank domain. So you can have can you just google it for 5 minutes, and give me other example, like for just like mobile, bank has transformed their entire system into the mobile. What are the other what are the other industries that have also do that, that are also doing that? Just 5 minutes, and then raise your hands. uh, like your answer can be anything, examples are also okay. Okay, so your 5 minutes starts now. Okay, and you have to raise your hand and then unmute and explain it. You can explain it in any language. As I say that Hindi, English, Marathi, I know everything. So I just wanted to know that you have understood this topic. So that is the
Ketki,
reason.
could you please repeat that like bank account like bank what was transfer?
Yes, yes. So see, as I mentioned in the example that what is mobility transform, that bank has transferred their entire system into the mobile. Like an executive will come to you, they will take your picture, they will validate your data, they will then fill your form, they will open your account in within 2 minutes, right? It was not the case few years back. So they have transformed their business logic into the mobile. So what are the other industries also that they are also doing the same? Like uh, okay, I'm going to give you second example, but it so like the healthcare, right? So healthcare is other domain that is rapidly increasing in mobile. So you can have your medicines, you can have your doctor appointment, you can even have a doctor call, video call into mobile. So two industries are out. So what are the other industry or examples that you see that previously it was doing all paperwork or having a lengthy process, but now is transformed into mobile? Okay. Okay, anybody has come up with any industry name top of the mind they have? No worries, you can go through the blog, you will have better idea. Maybe I was not clear enough in the section what I want to articulate, but you can go through the blog and then you can have a clear understanding what is mobility transformation. It is not very related to development perspective, so if you want to emit it you can emit it, but it is very important in perspective of if you want to create a product or if you want to have if you have any idea for business or something like that. Okay, so moving to current trends. So yes, so these are the list of trends. So before that I want to show you guys some a video.
Ketki, there is no voice of that
uh
video.
yes, just give me a second, I have just played it, but let me see if there is any setting I have to do,
Hello.
because I
Ketki, do one thing. Stop sharing, and at the time of sharing, you will find share computer voice, yeah, computer audio, like this
okay,
option you will find.
okay. Should I give control to any of you guys because I cannot find it? Sorry, I'm new to team. No.
Uh,
Yes, it is presenting, but I cannot see the option of sharing video.
Whenever you are going to share your video at that your screen, at that time it will ask, means it is just one of the little checkbox, and
Okay.
you have to just check that checkbox.
Yes, I'm not getting any checkbox by the way.
Okay.
Yes. Can I give you control so you
Yes,
can do
yes,
it?
yes, you can.
Yes. Just give me a second. See, I have given you control.
But at the time of sharing, it will ask us. You have given the control of your screen.
Okay. Uh, see,
Just,
as you can
just, wait,
see, yeah,
just
yeah.
wait, just wait.
If you have Sachin sir's or Yogesh sir's number, Ketki, you can share your video with them. And then, sir, you can
Okay.
play that video.
Okay. So I'll do one thing, that I'll copy paste it here in the conversation, the link, the YouTube link. Yes, so we can
Ah, that
play
will be
that.
fine.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yes, I have shared it.
Hello, Ketki.
Yes.
Yeah, when you click on the share content, you will find one link is there, include computer sound. You have to just on that one.
Yes, but there is I cannot find any option about that, no, for computer sound and all. Okay, anybody can share the screen and have the play the video for me. That would be great because
Just
I
wait. I
cannot.
will. Just wait. I will share. Just wait.
Yes.
Ketki, you can just disable your share screen so that
Yes.
Yogesh Sharma sir will share his screen.
Yes, I have disabled it.
Okay.
We can go ahead if it is taking time.
I think you can go ahead. Later on, we will just show that video.
Yes, yes, I have shared it with in the conversation. They
Yes,
can
yes,
have it. Okay.
yes, yes, yes.
Yes. Okay. So yes, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes. So it was a very cool video. He has listed down 5 augmented reality and virtual reality application that has been evolved, and it was actually very it was very good graphical presentation. So it would have been easier way to understand, but we can move ahead. So AR and VR technology, anybody can want to share what is augmented reality, virtual reality, their knowledge, because it is very common.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Augmented and virtual realities means augmented like adds digital elements to live view, often using the camera or the smartphones. Like for example, like reality experiences, some Snapchat lenses, some games, and
Right,
in the
right.
virtual like it implies a complete immersion experience that shuts out the physical world, like using VR devices such as something Vive or Google. There is cardboard users can be transported like a number of real world and imagine environments such as middle of a part like.
Right, right, exactly. Yes, it was absolutely correct. That is augmented reality and VR. Augmented reality, it will calculate the live view dependent upon the X, Y, and Z axis of the device. The very common example is on the lens card. You'll have this option to wear lenses by clicking your picture. You can check the left view, right view, how this lens is looking on you. That is augmented reality. Virtual reality is, of course, you have the device, it will shut down the physical world. It will show you the 3D view. So there are lots of game that has been made on VR, and there are so many videos on YouTube that extends the what is actually VR, and virtual reality is actually a very huge thing to cover. And second is IoT technology. So what is IoT technology is when you connect your mobile with any hardware, uh, just like it is mentioned in the list that there is a beacon. So a beacon is type of an IoT device. Then there is a printer. If you connect your, so you just give command from your mobile, and there is a print from your printer. So you are connecting your printer to your devices. So you are sending signals from your mobile to your printers. Then there is a beacon. Beacon is also having large use in the industry. Beacon can be used to have to get the attendees, to get the then there is for parking also. Beacon is very, sorry, parking is also, beacon is also very useful, where you can see that which particular device, particular car is parked in the parking slot is corrected or not. So we are using beacon also in various different technology, like in RTO. We are using beacons because there are sensors. So based on the sensors, uh, so I'm jumping to beacon because it is a part of IoT. So what is actually beacon? Beacon is a device which have this virtual rays, waves, you can say. So whenever your device is coming into the contact of that range, so it will get notified that beacon get notified that this particular device is going to be is in the particular range. Okay. So recently I have got the opportunity to work on this particular technology. So in that I have converted my mobile into the beacon. So my mobile is sending range over other beacons. So whenever other device is coming into that particular range, my mobile get notified that this particular device has come into the range. So this is beacon. Then online shopping or e-commerce websites, they have hugely uh, usually spread all over the world, and it is conquering all the markets. Online learning as well, we can see Vedanta app, and then this white junior app, something which is going to shut our business if 6 years old is going to create a mobile application. What we are going to do, right? So
Very true.
yes. So this online learning application. Then there is wearable. So wearable is your smartwatch, your Bluetooth devices, your so these comes into the wearables. So smartwatch also have so in iOS particular, they have this watch kit. So it has a watch OS also. So just like mobile OS, Mac OS, they have this watch OS, and you have to configure your application depending upon that. Watch OS also have their interfaces. They can also have an device architecture. They can also have an client server architecture. So wearable is an independent, you can consider independent programming as well. Then there is a blockchain technology. So I am not very aware of these things, blockchain, but what I know, it is a cryptocurrency, and it is a virtual money. You don't have to pay physical money, but then your money will be transferred from coins to coins, and you play with coins. So that is blockchain. And then mobile wallet, Paytm, we use Paytm, Freecharge, and so many applications, they have this mobile wallet. Then we have our government approved Bheem application, which have this mobile wallet. And UPI has been made our life so easy that we cannot say. And then the last is chatbots are also very helpful, and it is also almost implied into all the domains you can consider of. Like for example, if you go to any real estate application, and then there is a small icon, you can click on that. They like, how may I assist you? That is chatbot. The predefined set of question is formatted in such a format that identifying response and getting the reply to depending upon that response. So that is chatbot. So these are the current trends that we actually going forward for this and mobile technology. Okay. So the last topic is platform overview, what we have, and how we actually code. So basically, there are two types of platforms. One is native, one is hybrid. Web is for responsive websites, because responsive website can also be seen in mobile. So that's why we have web. But majorly it is native and hybrid. So what is native and hybrid? So native, um, in native technology, we have iOS and Android. iOS mobile language will only create mobile application for iPhones. Android mobile technology will only create mobile application for Android only. So you cannot cross platform it, uh, because their formats are different, their files are different, they don't support each other. But in hybrid technology, we can concat both and create a both application in one single code. That is hybrid technology. So we'll go one by one. So we can do things like, we can have native in iOS, Android. So we can list out there what are the things they do. But it is preferable that we use native language over hybrid, because native gives us more customization. We can have more flexible views. Hybrid is somehow does not cope up with all the requirement that clients have. So that is the reason why most of the people go with iOS and Android native language. So iOS is based on object-oriented Objective-C plus Swift language. They have introduced Swift in 2016. Sorry, 2014. I'm really sorry. And now it is Swift 5.2 version, and very few are using Objective-C, but you can consider Swift as a wrapper of Objective-C. So Swift is derived from Objective-C, so base is Objective-C. You will need an Xcode tool to develop a mobile iOS application. So this Xcode tool is only available in Mac OS. So you will either need Mac Mini or MacBook to have Xcode. You cannot have Xcode in Windows, Linux, or any other OS. It is because it is against their privacy policy. They so therefore Xcode is only available in Mac OS. And the technology overview is that they have you will have a interface to interface builder to create an interface. I can quickly show you. Just give me some time. So this is an Xcode tool. You can have this interface. You what you want to create: single application, game application, augmented reality application. So there are a bunch of application options. I'm selecting single view. So it will ask for your name. And as you can see, the language is Objective-C. You will get the option to select Swift or Objective-C. I'm selecting Swift and finishing project. In this way, you can create your project and you will have bunch of files here, and you can create your view in storyboard. So this is for an overview. I am showing you this. You will have label, button, many more options, like whatever we used in our programming. So we can have there his, and you can just click and drop here. Okay, now there is option for image. I have not added any image, so I will select this image. This is predefined image. So you see, so you can change its latitude, its X and Y for this, and you can place this image. You can have label, button, multiple lines button. So this is for Xcode. Now Android Studio I don't have, but in Android the language is Kotlin, which is actually a Java, like it's based in Java, and it is both object oriented plus functional construct. So in Android we have different, because certain elements are different in Android and certain elements are different in iOS. So for that we have different platform and different controls, UI controls, business logic controls and all. Then comes an hybrid language. Hybrid language we have React Native, Flutter, Ionic. So what actually a hybrid application do? It will create a web page of your mobile application and it will place it on your front page. So whatever you are saying is seeing is actually a web page, but it is placed over your mobile screen. So it is not so this is the basic of hybrid technology, that how it is used. We use JavaScript for React Native, for Flutter, Ionic. We have JS. I'm not sure about Flutter, but Ionic and React Native we use JS, and uh, this customization is similar to the CSS we do in HTML. We have CSS for each components. So these are the application technologies that we use to create mobile application. So yes, so by far this is from my side. If anybody is having any questions, so we are open for that. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yes, Ketki, the session was really very nice and informative, and you have covered all the basics, and you have explained it in a very easy way.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, anybody from students, you can ask the questions. Unmute yourself and you can ask the question to Ketki.
Can we play a video right now?
Yes, we can.
Yes. Okay.
Ketki, just disable your share screen.
Yes, sure.
Ketki, it was indeed a wonderful session and very enlightening. I hope
Thank
the
you, ma'am.
students are clear with the basics of entire mobile technology, and you did a very good job. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
If the video can run, I would ask Yogesh Sharma sir to please run the video. And
Yes.
also, students, dear students, you should be very comfortable with your alumni, your seniors. If they are coming forward and giving you chance to know about the things which they know better, please take maximum benefit out of it, yeah, and ask the
Yes, ma'am.
questions. So
Yes.
I would request all the students to ask questions to Ketki, whatever their doubts have, and hope you all have enjoyed the session. Please watch the video, and later we would leave. Ketki, I would take the leave because I have some urgent work. Please enjoy the video, and thank you so much, Ketki. Stay connected, yeah?
Yes, no worry, ma'am. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
The technology of the future, but frankly, it hasn't really done a good job of
Now it
showing
is audible.
how it will become a part
Yes,
of our
yes.
everyday lives. So
Okay.
that's why I've rounded up the following apps. They're not necessarily the most polished AR apps on the App Store, but I think they're the best ones for showing how AR can augment our iPhone experience beyond, visually nifty gimmicks. It may be familiar to you already, but Apple's own Measure app it's a good starting point. It's built directly into iOS, and it lets you make rough measurements with your iPhone's camera. And you can even take a screenshot of that measurement and send it to a friend. But again, keep in mind that these measurements are going to be Apple has depth sensors in the iPhone's rear camera before we really get some reliable accuracy. All that said, the Measure app does do an impressive job through machine learning alone. Next up, we have SkyGuide. This star chart app, it's been around for years, and I've always admired the way that it lets you use the iPhone's GPS to identify the stars that are above you. Before it had a camera-based AR mode, though, you had to look back and forth between the app and the sky in order to figure out what you were looking at. With the new AR feature enabled by the camera, though, you can overlay constellation maps on top of the night sky and learn exactly what you're looking at. Or you could even use it during the day and see what the sky will look like on a specific date. The not so elegantly named Sunseeker Sun Tracker the not so elegantly named Sunseeker Sun Tracker Compass kind of follows the same idea, but the focus here is on the sun rather than all the other stars. It's a good app for showing where the sun will be in the sky at a specific time or day or date. It's also great for figuring out if a bedroom in a new apartment is going to get direct sunlight at some point in the year. In its camera mode, Sunseeker also shows trajectories for the summer and winter solstices. This way, you'll always be able to contextualize the current day's trajectory. IKEA Place is a reminder that great AR apps don't have to be so mind-blowing. The concept here is simple. You choose a piece of furniture that you're interested in from the app, and IKEA Place lets you see how it will look in your office or apartment. It's a good way to tell if a piece of furniture is really going to work for your room before you spend a lot of money on it. JigSpace reminds me of those interactive museum exhibits for kids, but in this case, you're tinkering with digital AR models. There are about 60 so-called jigs to choose from, and that includes everything from the Gutenberg press to lightsabers. With each model, you'll get a step-by-step explanation of how each device works, and that includes the fictional ones. AR games usually, they're not all that fun, but I think Smash Tanks is an exception. It's all about setting up AR boards on tables or other surfaces where you aim tanks at other tanks. Obstacles like buildings or trees usually get in the way, so Smash Tanks makes you move around the table or the counter in order to get a better shot. It's entertaining to do this alone, but I also like how Smash Tanks lets you play local multiplayer matches either by passing the phone to a friend or inviting up to 7 people on the same network. Zombie Gunship Revenant AR is a fun game too, and it shows how games can really deliver a good AR experience without relying so heavily on the camera. So in this case, you place the battlefield down on a surface, and then you play as though you're piloting a military helicopter protecting a base from waves of zombies. To get the best shot, you're going to have to move in close. You're going to have to move around the table. It's fun, it's simple, and it doesn't overthink AR, and I'm a big fan of that. Not able to own a cat or a dog? Consider getting a dragon with AR Dragon. It's all about raising a dragon from the moment it hatches, and the beast gets a little bigger every day that you log in. The camera-based AR interface does a good job of making it look as though the dragon is hanging out in front of you, and I like how it lets you feed your dragon or it lets you play ball with it. It's one of the best apps for seeing how fun it can be to interact with digital beings through AR. AR Runner does a good job of showing how AR can even augment exercise, and it does this mainly by letting you overlay the real world with checkpoints and open spaces. You can then run through these checkpoints and compare your times against other people in the world. It's a cool idea, but it's one that's probably going to be a lot more rewarding when we have AR glasses or contacts or whatever. As it is, you're always going to be jogging with your phone in your hand, and that's never not going to look weird. Euphoria Chalk is an app that has AR features that I'd love to see built right into FaceTime. So long as you and a friend both have the app, you can use the iPhone's camera on a call to point out things with hand-drawn arrows and circles and see this stuff in real time. In my case, it'd be perfect for helping out my dad with his tech support from almost 2,000 miles away. It's a good idea, but it's not without its limitations. You can only use the free version for calls that last for 3 minutes, for instance, and again, the lack of true depth sensors on the rear camera means that accuracy, it sometimes leaves a lot to be desired. That's it for now, but I'll say that I'm hoping to hear some big news about AR with the new iPhones, and I hope that stuff just blows these apps out of the water. For more on AR apps, be sure to subscribe to Macworld.
Yes, guys, any questions?
Yes, students, you can ask your queries.
If you don't have question, that means only two things. Either you understand everything or you don't have understand anything. So either case is not good.
One query has become
Yes.
Kethi.
Yes.
What do you think, which is the best software to develop Android?
So to develop Android, there is only one Android Studio they provide, and it is by far the best. It has all the required component, and I think when I was in second year, we had a project on Android. So Android Studio is the is far by far the best option to create Android application.
Any other queries? Okay, Ketki, thank you very much for accepting our invitation in a very short time and giving your precious time for this session. And look forward that soon we will schedule the next session in this current trends in mobile technology.
Yes, sure, sir. Thank you so much for your time, like for all and the invitation. It is my pleasure to be because it feels like few years back I was sitting there and somebody is giving like
Yes, yes,
seminar, and
yes,
now it's my turn. So I hope that in future whoever is attending this is going to get the chance and be a presenter in webinar. Thank you so much.
yeah.
It's really a pleasure.
Thank you, Ketki.
And it was very nice to see all the ma'ams and sirs after so
Yes,
long.
yes, yes, yes.
Yes, thank you so much.
Uh, Maratha sir, you want to say something?
No, no, sir. No, sir. It was a nice session. Thanks for
Okay,
organizing this.
okay, okay. Thank you very much, sir. Okay,
Thank
thank you very much, Ketki.
Okay. Sachin sir, should I leave the meeting?
Yes, 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 Ketki.
Thank
Thank
yes,
you.
thank you so much.
Yeah.